Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and all the good things are happening in your life. I am Katie Brannon. This is Tea Time True Crime with Katie, and I have another true crime case for you. Warning, my podcast is not for children. I will talk about adult situations. Viewer discretion is advised. So this is your first time joining. Hi, what's going on? I'm Katie. I like to smile in the beginning because I begin to maybe be emotional, cry, definitely not smiley towards the end of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? That's a given, right? So, yeah, if you were listening, thank you so much for listening. And if you are watching, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and let's get to it. I'm going to be talking about Cristian Fernandez. Cristian Fernandez was the youngest ever for charged with first-degree murder in Jacksonville, Florida. He was born January 14th, 1999, which makes him a Capricorn. He was the goat, but not the kind of goat that you were thinking. Now, I found this quotation about this whole Cristian Fernandez case, No one to protect the mom when she needed it as a kid. Then she in turn didn't protect her children. Yeah. Shout out to you who left that comment or whatever, because that hits pretty hard. So just to let you know, guys, when I say viewer discretion is advised, please do not comment that this is not YouTube safe or anything like that. You have a choice to just, zoom out, clock out. You know what I'm saying? Not clock out, but you know what I mean. So this case is I picked out this case because it's such a controversial case. I want to know down in the comments below what you guys think about this case. All in all, this is tragic. I feel like this could have been preventable. No, it definitely could have been preventable. So Cristian Fernandez is a kid, literally. So his mother was actually an only 12 years old when she gave birth to Cristian. I know, 12 years. Yeah, and Cristian's father was 20 years old. Yeah. That is what? Yeah, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. He didn't receive any time for messing with a minor, but he was criminally charged. But to avoid incarceration, he promised the courts that he would take care of his son. Oh, really? Oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice. Let's not forget the fact that you had sex with a 12-year-old, which 12-year-olds, I don't know if you know, guys, is extremely young to be having sex. In fact, when you're 12 years old, you shouldn't even know what sex is. Honest. But that's beside the point. The judge actually gave him 10 years probation. But now he is a registered sex offender. All right, well, we got that. The court system, all right. Well, for a while, he was actually taking care of Cristian and the mom. Bianella Susanna is Cristian's mother. Now, like I said, for a while, he was taking care of his son, the registered sex offender. But then he just started only visiting once a week, if that. Evidently turned into a deadbeat dad. Now, his mother couldn't even take care of him because she was only 12 years old, okay? So the caretaker that for both of them, the mom, 12, and the baby, was a 34-year-old grandmother who was a drug addict. Yeah, this is not a good premise for what's happening right now. This is just not a good time. There's already like trauma just when this kid was like born, okay? So, age 2 years old, Cristian and his 14-year-old mother were actually removed from the home of the grandmom and put into foster care because Cristian was actually found dirty, naked, roaming the streets by himself while his grandmother was getting high in a hotel. When Cristian was 7 years old, his mom fell in love with Luis Galarrago Blanca after dating him for a while. Now, after dating him for a while, things happen, you know, you start to kind of want to be with each other, you may want to get married. Well, they did. They got married and they started their own family. So Cristian, he like accumulated 3 more siblings. So you have 4 children in the home. Now, Cristian's mom was only in her 20s when she had 3 more children. And Luis was not, how should I say this? Reports saying that he was not an easygoing father. He was not an easygoing stepfather. In fact, he had a big temper. Yeah, he had a big temper, and he would take out his anger on the children. Yeah. It's really sad, like I said, guys. It's just gonna get sadder. And you're wondering, okay, well, what did this Cristian kid do? Is it him that ended up to be the youngest? Yes. But I'm trying to paint a picture of where this kid came from. Other people go right to the crime and grill it, but I want to give you the whole shebang. Like, not saying there is a reason to do this. There's not. But to have some kind of logical explanation or something like that, I mean, it's, yeah. Okay. So, sorry, I go on tangents sometimes. So, Cristian's mom is in her 20s and 3 more kids. You have 4 kids in the house. So, he's like abusing the children, okay? He's abusing them with mental abuse. He's abusing them with physical. And Cristian just wants to stop with the abuse, but he starts doing adult chores. This is a kid, okay? And he's cooking and cleaning and taking care of the house. Well, the home. They lived in an apartment, but okay. In 2007, though, 8 years old, okay, there was a report that Cristian was actually molested by his older cousins. So this kid is just, like I said, he is just born out of trauma, and it's just gonna keep on hitting. It really is. It's rough. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just gonna say what I've researched, and then I want to know what you guys think. Reports also say that Cristian was killing kittens, sexually stimulating his classmates, and masturbation at school in the restroom. I'm sorry, you're 8 years old. You're 8. Like, you're playing with dirt, I feel like, at 8 years old. You're reading a book. You're not playing with your ding. I don't know. I'm not a guy. I don't know. Sorry, it's tea time. I'm drinking tea out of my Nightmare on Elm Street cup. Okay. October 22nd, 2010. 11-year-old Cristian. He's 11 years old now. He shows up at school with like a major injury to his face. His eye is black and it's swollen. Now, immediately the teacher's like, go to the nurse. And she actually notifies police officers. And they're wondering what happened, who did this to you, you know, interrogating the child. And he said, my stepfather did it. Now, the police were trying to contact Louise. And Cristian was basically saying, my stepdad was upset and he punched me in the eye. Like that morning. So they immediately, how bad this bruised eye, this swollen eye, it was so bad that Cristian got immediate medical attention because they thought something happened to the retina in his eye. That's a hell of a punch to a kid. Excuse me. So Luis is supposed to come to the police department to answer some questions about the incident. And they're calling his phone and they're trying to contact him. Okay? So they go to the door and they're knocking on the apartment door. And they are stunned to have this frightened little girl open the door. She sees the police officers. She is scared and she runs to the rear bedroom of the apartment. But as she's running, there is blood in her footsteps. Immediately, the police officers are met with a horrible, gruesome scene. So when they arrived, they automatically saw blood. It was a bloody mess. And what they saw was Luis dead with a gunshot wound to his head. Self-inflicted. Yep. Luis, the bastard, he didn't want to face prosecution because not only the abuse to his stepchild, but also there was alleged sexual abuse as well. And you're probably thinking, well, Katie, where were the children? When Luis took his own life, they were there. They were there. They witnessed their stepfather take his own life. The little girl was frightened. She had blood on her. And little David was only 1.5 years old, roaming around with blood spatter on his body. So this horrific act was done in front of the children. After that happened, I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine the trauma, the horror. The kids must be asking like so many questions. It's rough. Like I can't imagine. It's horrible. After that incident, Cristian's mom left with the kids to Carrington Place Apartments on Alden Road in Jacksonville, Florida. He went to Kernan Middle School and was where he was thriving. Okay, Cristian was making A's. Good for you, dude. But a few months later, his grades were slipping. Yeah, I said it's bad. It's just gonna get worse. So please, if you don't have, I forgot to say, sorry, if you're just joining, hello. I always tell you guys to grab your popcorn or grab a comfort item that makes you happy because my stories are extremely disturbing. Just want to let you know. These are real people. This really happened. This is not just a story. These are people's lives. You got to remember that. March 14, 2011. 12-year-old Cristian. He was left home alone to watch his 2-year-old brother David while his mother went to the bank. Now, I watched the interrogation video, and it's like about 90 minutes long, and it's on YouTube. And Cristian, said to the detective that, yes, my mom left me alone to watch my brother. And I'm sure the other children too. They didn't say that, but I'm not sure at that point. But he was there to watch his brother. And Christian was upset because he didn't want to watch his brother, but the mom, apparently she didn't do it all the time, and she had to go to the bank, which again, I don't understand why she didn't take her kids to go to the bank, I mean, maybe she needed time alone. I don't have children, but I hear it's extremely stressful and you want to have your time. Well, if you want to have your time, go to a neighbor, call a friend, have them watch the kids, or bring the kids with you. They're your children. So before March 14, 2011, couple months before that, Christian broke his little brother's legs. Yeah. Now, because of wrestling. Yeah, it's horrible. I apologize to say legs. It was leg. But the way the kid was in a position, I mean, if I had a doll, I'd show you, but I'm going to have a picture right here on the screen to show you what position the boy was in. But if you are listening, it's basically like you're sitting up and your two legs are being bent backwards. And Christian grabbed his brother's leg and bent it until he heard a pop. And David was crying and screaming because it hurts. Yeah. I know, when I heard about that position, I'm like, did he not just break the leg? He could have broke the spine. You can break someone's spine that way. So while Christian's mom was gone, Christian was kind of upset. He didn't want to watch his brother. So that was a couple months before he broke his brother's leg, okay? Now this is March 14, 2011. We're back there. So Christian's home alone again with his brother, which makes no damn sense because a couple months before he broke his brother's leg because of wrestling. So again, there's a lot wrong here. Not only you didn't bring your kids, you're also letting your kid with your other kid who broke the kid's bone. Yeah. So just no bueno, guys, no bueno. So Christian was very annoyed with David, and he lashed out he said he was angry about what his stepfather done. So, I mean, God knows what his stepfather really done. I mean, we only saw like the black eye where I feel like he could have like decimated his little head. Like, it's horrible, horrible. So what Christian did was he got David, his 2-year-old brother, and smashed him in the bookcase. Not once, but more than once. They say either twice or 3 times. The second or third time, David did not get back up, and he was bleeding from the nose. So automatically, Christian like snaps out of it, and he's 12 years old. He snaps out of it, and he was like, oh my God, this is not good. David is not saying anything, like, he's not crying anymore. He's like passed out. He's like knocked out. So what he does was he puts David back in his bed. Like, it's bedtime. And when Christian's mom came back, Bianella, Christian's mom, you would think that if your kid is hurt, you would be like with my cats, anything that's wrong or they do something that is like out of the ordinary, vet. I take them to the vet. Like, bam, I don't even mess around with it. They're my kids. My kitty cats are my kids. That's how I feel. I'm a fur baby mama, okay? So, unless the universe wants something different for me. But right now, kitty cat mama, okay? So what she doesn't do, she does not do like anything at first. So Christian is going to his mom and saying what happened. Probably he hurt his head, or, he's not doing, not doing good. And the mom, she just thought it was no big deal. She said, just change the baby's clothes, wipe his nose, and put ice on his head. Put him in the bed, which he was already in bed. So she goes on the computer, goes on the internet, has a joy old time. It takes her several hours to take her son to medical care. I'm sorry, what? Several hours. Yes, she didn't think it was a big deal. She was downloading music, watching music videos, reading articles and stories. And then finally, hours later, she Googled terms like in a coma or hit head or something like that, something that pertained to the injury of her son. Yeah. 4 hours later. Yes, I said that correctly. 4 hours later, she finally drove her son to the hospital. But David, little baby David, 2-year-old innocent David, died. He died 2 days later. The cause of death was blunt force trauma, and there was bleeding in the brain. The doctors said his life could have been saved if he received medical care, emergency medical care, which means when she got home and her son was like, hey mom, David's not, like, something's wrong with David, like, he's 12. He doesn't even like comprehend what's going on. And she's just like, he's fine, he's gonna be all right. I'm sorry, but if your son is not responsive at all, you take him to the emergency room. You take him. But rest in peace, David. Rest in peace. February 8, 2013. Cristian, he would be charged as an adult. And as I said before, by 2013, he was the youngest ever to be charged as an adult. Now, the defense wanted him to plead guilty, so he received 7 years for manslaughter and aggravated battery in the death of a baby. Baby David. Now you're wondering, well, what about the mother? She's to blame. She has blame too. You know what? In this situation, I feel like she does. I do. But she was 12 years old when she gave birth. Like, they didn't say it was the R word or SA word, but my God, he's 20 years old and you're 12. Grooming, is that what we call it, guys? Grooming? But it's not really grooming because he had sex with her and she had a child. So the mother, she was 27 years old this time. April 1st, I know, April Fool's Day. April 1st, 2011, she was charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child under 18 by culpable negligence. After spending 2 years and a few months awaiting trial, the judge decided to do 90 days of domestic violence shelter, 2 years in a halfway house, and to work on mental health and life skill help. Yeah. In 2018, Cristian was actually released, but was added 8 years of probation. Now, forensics psychologists, they said that Cristian was emotionally undeveloped because of the abuse that he endured. and he had PTSD from extreme sexual abuse and just abuse. This kid was just, he only knew abuse like right after he popped out of the womb. You know what I'm saying? Like just horrible, horrible case. But the psychologist, forensic psychologist, which I know is random, but they also said that he can be reformed. He is one of those cases that can be reformed. In January 2023, which, you know, it's October 2023, so he has been free since January 2023. What do you guys think? Do you think trauma, extreme trauma, is an excuse for taking a life? Or do you think he should be in a mental facility for the rest of his life? Or do you think he should have gotten any jail time at all? I'm very curious to know what you guys think. It is a horrible, horrible case. I mean, I haven't read about kid trauma that bad until, since the, Sanford from the chicken coop murders. Remember that one? Oh, that was brutal. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put in the description below if you like, but that is I go in depth with that, and it's really, really hard to hear. But Sanford did survive, so that's good. Cristian, they say, does have remorse, and the judge says that he is not allowed to talk to his siblings unless the siblings contact him first. Yeah, it's one of those cases that it's so much involved. It's not just a cut and dry kind of case. But again, I want to know what you guys think. Just drinking some tea. Awesome, awesome. I don't know how to end this. This is just brutal. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. And if you guys have any case suggestions, I will leave the email. Sorry, it's awkward time right now, so I'm smiling and I'm oh God, I just talked about something horrific. I always do, right? In this podcast, it's never a good time. But my true crime kitty cats, I really appreciate you hanging out. Please know that you're loved and cherished. My email is teatimeCB@yahoo.com if you have any case suggestions. All right? Until next time, you are doing better than you think. Bye.